Moore missed the chippy. Blake, Wesley, and Leschewski were there, couldn't control it. It'll stay with Georgia Tech.
In the Notre Dame man-to-man defense, Wes, it's obvious early that the Irish are working very hard to try to make sure that it's a tough time for both Usher and DeVoe, and that means a guy like Khalid Moore is going to have some opportunities. He just has to convert.
Here's Usher, and this is Mecca.
Expect to see Leschewski helping out off of Mecca quite a bit.
Start of it, trying to beat Hub to the basket. Fed Mecca, juggled, caught it, offensive foul. Jordan Mecca has started now the last 3 ball games. Sophomore from Yaoundé in Cameroon draws his first.
Well, I think he just got going a little too fast there, Wes. He was worried about having the ball stolen from him. As you mentioned, not a lot of playing experience, and so he just went a little too fast, and he's playing against a veteran guy in Leschewski.
Here's the Irish, and you see Cormac Ryan in the lineup tonight for Mike Bray. 10th time he started this year, 26th time in his career since coming over as a transfer from Stanford.
And Georgia Tech opens in the man-to-man.
And Ryan breaks free for the basket. And Georgia Tech tonight goes with a lineup that includes Mecca for the 3rd straight ball game, but 4 other names very familiar: Khalid Moore, Kyle Sturdivant, Michael DeVoe, and of course Jordan Usher. Here's Mecca on a reroute for DeVoe, and turned over by Georgia Tech, and this is the rookie Wesley with the Jackets' 2nd turnover and a spot up that's too strong, and the rebound corralled by Mecca.
You like Blake Wesley taking that shot there. He is very aggressive. He's looking to score, but he's also an excellent passer and plays really well in transition.
Sturdivant a high arcing 3. Georgia Tech on the board. Kyle Sturdivant's 10th 3 of the year, Dan.
Sturdivant is not a great three-point shooter because he doesn't shoot a high volume, but that's really going to help the Yellow Jackets if he can knock them down, because usually their three-point marksmen are Usher, DeVoe, and Coleman.
Wesley against Usher. Interesting matchup there. Ryan against Moore. Now to Dane Goodwin. Inside over the top of Mecca, wouldn't go.
That's a really interesting matchup, Moore against Goodwin.
Here's DeVoe to the basket.
Georgia Tech is a team, Wes, that can really get a lot done in transition when they're able to get out and go. Nice job by Mecca to get that one out of there quickly.
Goodwin. Here's Hub with Moore defending. Now to Cormac Ryan. Into traffic, skips for Prentice Hub's 3. And DeVoe the rebound, and here are the Jackets again trying to find something in transition perhaps.
Hub missed that one, but in ACC play, he's generally shot the 3 pretty well.
Well, sure has. Really improved his stock from a scoring perspective once league play began. A drive by Moore, ball got carried loose. Sturdivant missing from the corner. And Mike Bray wants his team to kind of get it going through the gearbox.
Georgia Tech is very good defensively, and so you'd like to get down and get opportunities before they can set the defense. That time just going a little too quickly.
There's Mike Bray, the winningest coach in Notre Dame history. 456 wins with the Irish, 555 in a career that stretches almost 30 years as a head coach. And one of the most likable gentlemen in all of college basketball. DeVoe trying to free himself on Ryan, who draws the foul. It'll be the first on the New York City senior. First on Notre Dame, and Josh Pastner, face shield included. By the way, the face shield tonight, the subject of a pregame promotion for Yellow Jacket fans. A bobblehead of Pastner that features him holding a replica of the ACC championship trophy and the face shield, which became customary for him a year ago in their title run at Greensboro. Turned over again, 3rd time by Georgia Tech. Irish on the run with a 3-point deficit. Goodwin skips for Ryan's triple to top. Missed everything. Usher the rebound of the brick.
And those are the shots Notre Dame has to make to be successful.
Sturdivant to Moore, who hesitates against Leschewski. Usher will not. Back rim miss, and Hub a standing rebound.
In ACC play, Wes, Notre Dame, 46% of their offense comes from behind the arc. They're looking for those catch and shoot opportunities. Georgia Tech looking to cut them off.
Trey Wirtz has checked in during that dead ball a moment ago. senior from Charlotte, averaging about 23 minutes a ball game. Here's Hub, tried to slip it to Wirtz. And it finds Goodwin in the left wing. Missing on the three, rebounded DeVoe. Into the front court come Georgia Tech.
That's exactly the kind of shot Notre Dame will take every time down the court.
Usher fouled on the deck before the and one. That'll get us to a timeout. Jackets a little frustrated. They thought that Jeffrey Clark was going to award the continuation. We get a timeout. Jackets with an early 3-point lead in Atlanta. The series is tied at 12-12, and the game's pretty good early. Well, we welcome you to Atlanta with Dan Bonner, Wes Durham. You see we're very early here tonight in Midtown, and Georgia Tech with an early 3-point lead on Notre Dame. Dan, the Jackets have the 3-point lead despite 3 turnovers.
Well, and I'm sure Josh Pastner's talking to him over there, because one of the things they wanted to do was limit Notre Dame's wide open 3-point opportunities, and Notre Dame's gotten a bunch of them. They've missed all 3 of their 3-point looks. So Josh Pastner's guys are ahead of Mike Bray's guys, but it's not because Notre Dame hadn't gotten the shots they want.
Yep. On the deck as we went to break against Trey Wirtz. It was his first, second on the Irish, so a spot throw in on the baseline for Kyle Sturdivant. And a 3-point lead here. Usher made the shot, thought he was going to get the and one. No foul call on the deck, and here's Khalid Moore swinging around Paul Atkinson, who just checked in for Coach Bray for his first points.
So a very small lineup on the court for Georgia Tech, and Atkinson not used to guarding a guy that quick at that size.
Tebow Coleman, the freshman from Memphis, on the floor wearing number 10 for Georgia Tech out of the timeout. Atkinson, the transfer from Yale, handling at the wing, and here's Hub, defended by Sturdivant. 10 to shoot for the Irish, and Atkinson the catch at the block. And he will squeeze up and in for his first basket.
Wes, we just said Georgia Tech with a very small lineup, so nice job by Hub to recognize that and get Atkinson inside.
So a 3-point game. A zone here by Notre Dame.
Notre Dame in the zone.
Coleman launches and hits.
Well, why worry about passing the ball? Just take a long three. Coleman is a very good 3-point shooter.
Josh Pastner said yesterday wasn't sure whether the freshman from Memphis would be available. Some knee pain. Bubba Parham, Rodney Howard, both out tonight for Georgia Tech. But Coleman's 3 will help the leg feel better. 6 minutes in and a 6-point lead for the home team here in Atlanta. And what has proven to be a very tight series in ACC play. Atkinson in the corner. Ryan answers with a triple. 5 for Cormac Ryan of Notre Dame's first 7.
It's a really nice touch pass by Atkinson. Had he come down with the ball, he would have been double teamed in there. And because there was a double team, that left Ryan all alone. And that's what Notre Dame wants to do, make the defense collapse and get those catch and shoot opportunities.
Irish go back to man here on this particular possession defensively. Usher tries to flip it. DeVoe in traffic. Coleman a step back. Now Moore slashes, and he'll be tripped and fouled, and I think that's Wirtz who will get ticketed here. Jeff Pond works with Jamie Luckey and Jeffrey Clark tonight.
This is just a really good job, and Khalid Moore is not a great 3-point shooter. That is a mistake by Wirtz to get out there and try to deny the 3-point shot.
Foul is on 2. Foul is on Wirtz, I believe.
Well, we're going to take a look at that.
Double checking here.
Yeah.
Moore going to shoot the free throws. And misses the first one. And here's Blake Wesley back for Notre Dame. Second on Wirtz, third on Notre Dame. And Moore hits the back end, man. So he's got 3, and Saba Gigi Maria comes onto the floor. This is a young man, sophomore from the Republic of Georgia, who played 14 minutes and had 6 points and 6 rebounds in Durham on Tuesday night.
And what they need him to do is close off that inside.
Yep. This is the counterpunch to Atkinson in the lineup for Notre Dame, and Goodwin had it blocked. I think DeVoe got a piece of it over the end line. It will stay with the Irish with 17 to shoot.
Really nice backdoor cut by Dane Goodwin, but Coleman did not give up on the play. Debo Coleman follows along with Sturdivant, and there's 3 guys around him, and Michael DeVoe gets the blocked shot. But that's really good defense, not giving up on the play. It wasn't Debo Coleman, it was Sturdivant.
Here's Ryan.
Tough shot.
Gigi Berea the rebound. Here's Sturdivant. Coleman against Leszewski. Gigi Berea limited offensively. Early in his Georgia Tech career, a little pocket pass, and DeVoe the catch and score. Saba has not been a guy who will bounce out of the ball screen, Dan.
They don't need him to score, but if you do things like that, then they're in business.
And Atkinson answers for Notre Dame at the other end.
Well, that's really a good play by Atkinson, because Gigi Berea just cannot move as quickly as Atkinson, so Atkinson takes him outside and drives right by.
4-point lead for Georgia Tech.
Both of these teams, a lot of ball movement and player movement in their man-to-man offense.
Coleman, 3 ball. And tapped around and controlled Leszewski. Hub trying to find a lane for the Irish. Leszewski the scoop, and we get a blocking call on the Jackets. It'll be on the freshman Coleman. His first, will be his second on Georgia Tech. A couple of free throws coming for Jupiter, Florida senior Nate Leszewski.
And that's a surprise, because Nate Leszewski has started now 14 games this year, plays almost 30 minutes a game, and this will be his 4th free throw attempt of the season. This is a guy who took 100 free throws last year, made 71. That's his first miss of the year, but he's 3 for 4, and Wes, I don't understand how somebody with his ability only gets to the line.
And it counters back to a thought that Leszewski had his first double-figure game in his last 6 Wednesday night against Carolina, Dan.
Well, Leszewski's a guy, as I said, he's 71 for 100. Last year, you can see he's been to the free throw line. It's not like he doesn't get there, but this year, they've been running him off the three-point line, and he hadn't been doing anything else. So even though he missed those 2, it's a great sign for Notre Dame that he puts the ball down and tries to take it to the basket.
Sturdivant with Coleman, and here is Tristan Maxwell playing for the first time tonight and the second time this year. And the son of the great NBA veteran Vern Maxwell knocks down the jump shot.
Wes, you mentioned there's some injury issues, particularly with Bubba Parham being out.
Here's Wirtz. 6-point Georgia Tech lead. Spot up from Wesley. Left it on the front iron. Coleman the rebound. Trying to find something against Leszewski. And a foul will be called on Nate Leszewski. That will get us to a timeout. They've already gotten into their benches, and Dan, that's a bit of a surprise.
Well, and it's a bit of a surprise because the benches are not very deep. And we mentioned Maxwell coming in the game and scoring, but Josh Pastner looking for some help because Bubba Parham, one of the guys, and of course he hadn't played all year until the last game, but he's one of the guys Josh Pastner was counting on. But interestingly, that's now 4 team fouls against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame is a team that doesn't normally foul very much, so Georgia Tech doing a great job in the attack.
Coleman's got 4 on his 10th free throw in 12 tries this year.
Well, a kid like that, the way he shoots the ball, he has to figure out a way to get to the free throw line because those are just easy. That's easy money there.
Tell you what, he knocked down the 3 early, and that had to be a good sign. He had been struggling from the floor in his last 4 games. He was 3 of his last 15. 8-point lead, and now an offensive foul on Blake Wesley.
Notre Dame does an awful lot of those dribble handoffs, and you have to make sure if you're handing that ball off, you have to get stopped. The referees have been looking at that very closely for the last couple of years.
Yep. Foul on Wesley was his first. It was the second Notre Dame turnover, and then Georgia Tech gives it right back on one of their own. Jackets had like 3 in their first 5 possessions, and Leszewski rims out of 3, but 3 Jackets can't control it. Atkinson gives them a free shot, and here's Wesley. The soft jump shot for his first points, Dan.
Georgia Tech, unfortunate they couldn't control that rebound. Notre Dame misses another wide open three, but Wesley is, I think the best part of his game is when he's attacking and shooting that mid-range jump shot.
Just the third Notre Dame player to score tonight, and there's an offensive foul called on Georgia Tech. Jeffrey Clark gets Jordan Usher for the clear out, his first, third on Georgia Tech.
Atkinson does a really nice job finding the open man, and again, Sturdivant very worried about the three because Notre Dame shoots so many threes, and Wesley, he is a decent three-point shooter, but he's not one of the eagle eyes for Notre Dame, so I think that you got to play him for the drive right there.
Jordan Mecca back in the ball game. He started tonight. We get our first look at Davon Smith, the sophomore transfer from Mississippi State out front. He's on the floor for the first time since Louisville last Sunday. Did not play the other night at Duke. Here is Smith, open floor at the left. Almost halfway through half number one.
Boy, Wesley struggling a little bit early.
Smith working on Wirtz. Usher around Goodwin. Drives on Atkinson. Slapped out, last touch by Georgia Tech. Well,
Wes, there's no score there, but again, Georgia Tech being extremely aggressive. Usher doing such a great job there. He taps it out of bounds. But I think Josh Pastner, of course, he'd like to have the basket, but he'll take that aggressiveness.
Usher taps it out of bounds and then tries to sell it that it belongs to his team. I admire
You would expect nothing else.
I admire that out of veteran guys, though. Yeah, I've been around a while. I think I can convince you of that. Three ball Wesley out of the corner, Dan. 24th three of the year for the rookie from South Bend.
Again, his three-point shooting has improved throughout the year, but that's Notre Dame. Defense collapses, they move the ball quickly to the other side of the court, they get a wide open three.
Irish to within three. Here's Maxwell, who had a bucket a moment ago. Squeezing in traffic and scores again. Second and third field goals of the year for Tristan Maxwell.
And that's really a nice job. Dane Goodwin, not the quickest guy in the world, but he moves his feet well and generally stays in pretty good position.
Goodwin had it rejected by Mecca. Here is Davon Smith, and it fell off. Notre Dame tries to counter here.
Dane Goodwin limping a little bit, Wes.
Leshevsky, no points yet. Here's Wesley, another one. And missed everything out of bounds. Sometimes the Irish get ahead of themselves, Dan. A little too fast, perhaps.
Goodwin, I can't tell what it's his left shoulder that he's playing around with.
And
we just asked him if he was okay, and he said yes.
Yep. Notre Dame's basketball trainer, Nixon Dorvillian.
They didn't believe him. Ryan's coming in.
Yeah. Here's Maxwell feeling it. Air ball on the three. Smith tried to make the save and did. Boy, heady play by Davon Smith there, Dan.
Against two much bigger guys, and Smith he can really get up in the air, and this really helps right here. He's with two bigger guys, and just before he lands out of bounds, he bounces it off Preston Hub.
So Smith for DeVoe. Michael DeVoe, 2 early field goals. Oh, here's Miles Kelly spotting up. He's into the ball game and scoring. Freshman from Lilburn, Georgia, played 9 scoreless minutes Sunday night against Louisville. Didn't play the other night at Duke.
Weston, this is really something. The contributions Georgia Tech is getting from their bench.
Yep. Hub floater, and it will fall off the back iron.
Well, that did everything except drop down in. Hub is really good at those plays, and if Notre Dame is going to be successful, he's got to make baskets when he does that.
DeVoe will set things for Pastner's team. Step back, a long 2. And Mecca slapped it out. Usher tried to cross-court bounce pass to Kelly, threw it away.
There's Davon Smith in there again, too, Wes, battling against bigger guys.
7:20 to go. Wesley down the lane for the easy bucket. 7 for Blake Wesley on his 3rd goal.
Mecca had fallen down, so there was nobody there to try to block the shot. And this is a Georgia Tech team that generally has shot blockers, but not this year.
Smith threw it away to Wesley. 7 turnovers for the Jackets here in the first half. Georgia Tech was +1 in the margin the other night at Duke, but not so lucky here in the opening frame. Under 7 to go, Usher. Skips it for Smith, a no look. Davon Smith, the easy layup.
Just not very good floor balance by Notre Dame. Wesley took it all the way in, and there was some contact there, but the other guards just didn't get back.
Well, Jordan Usher's got a propensity for the high risk, high reward. The first one was thwarted. This one was not. Dandy looked to Smith for the layup. Jackets by 7 when we come back to Atlanta. Atkinson, Leshesky, Goodwin, Wesley, and Hub for the Irish. Meanwhile, this Georgia Tech bench that's now got Miles Kelly on the floor, Davon Smith, Jordan Usher with Khalid Moore and Sabagigi Baria. Here's Moore, and look at the Irish go flying at Khalid Moore in the corner.
Notre Dame drops back into that zone.
Usher for 3 off the right. And Moore's tap follow wouldn't go. Here's Hub in Notre Dame now.
You want to run, but you don't want to get ahead of yourself.
Atkinson on Gigi Baria. Easy layup with the left hand for the former Ivy League Player of the Year, Dan.
And it's very difficult for Georgia Tech to drop down and try to help out, because if Atkinson passes it out, you're giving up an open 3. But I think that's an advantage for Notre Dame that they have to take.
Josh Pastner didn't like what he saw, and he burns a timeout. So the use it or lose it 30 sends the Jackets to the bench with a 5-point lead. Well, game 3 of our ACC Network triple header tonight comes to you from Cameron Indoor Stadium. Number 2 Duke in Miami. Follow us here in Atlanta. Jay Alter, Malcolm Huckabee waiting to bring you the Blue Devils and the Canes, who are undefeated 4-0 in ACC play as they meet the Blue Devils tonight, who picked up their second conference win on Tuesday night against Georgia Tech.
And not only is Miami 4-0, West, but they are putting points on the board.
Layup by Wesley. He's got 9 in the first half to lead the Irish.
Really nice job by Notre Dame to push it up the court quickly. And Josh Pastner's gone back to another very small lineup in the game.
They took Gigi Baria off the floor and brought Kyle Sturdivant back. Mecca has returned as well. They'll try and work against Atkinson, and shot off the line, and Notre Dame the rebound. They can tie with a 3 as we come up on 5 minutes to play first half here in Atlanta. And there's Atkinson on a nice pass from Hub.
Mecca just got caught up on the screen, and Josh Pastner is really looking for something now to find somebody who can guard Atkinson inside. You go against Notre Dame, you're worried about the 3, but Atkinson now really starting to produce on the interior.
6-0 run by the Irish. 17 of their 22 belong to Wesley and Atkinson. The missed 3, and Wesley the rebound from Sturdivant.
And how high did he just get up, Wes?
He's going all the way, coast to coast, and couldn't finish the layup.
Well, that was 1 on 3. It was a little too fast. You really don't need that.
DeVoe all the way through. Sturdivant back for Michael DeVoe, who's only got a pair of field goals. Usher out of the corner. And a second chance for the Jackets here. Another 3. Usher lines it up and knocks it down. First field goal for the young man from Canton, Georgia.
Now, Usher shoots almost 40% from out there. You can't continue to give him opportunities.
Georgia Tech back to a 4-point advantage. Hub feeds Atkinson. Dan, the pick and roll is hurting the Jackets.
What's interesting, in the North Carolina game, the pick and roll hurt North Carolina because Notre Dame stepped back and got 3s. In this particular game, Atkinson just getting anything he wants right at the basket.
Jackets still with a 2-point lead. Mecca for Kelly. The freshman took the contact and missed badly, knocked over the inline out of bounds. Well, 2-point game. We expected this to be a tight fit. The series history proves that these two will take it to the wire. And so far, Jordan Usher's been a big factor for Georgia Tech. And off the bench tonight, 6th double-figure game of the year in the last 7 for Atkinson already. And and he's got to be a little concerned because sometimes late in the first half is lethal to the Jackets.
Well, this has been a problem for them throughout the season, and right at the moment, Wes, you can see down there, they're 1 for their last 8 field goals in the last 259, so you know they want to break out of that little problem area. But for Notre Dame, Wes, only 3 people have scored.
Yeah.
Wesley has 9, Atkinson off the bench has 10, and Cormac Ryan has 5. Nobody else is scratched.
DeVoe heaves a 3 up off a quick inbounds pass and a cut to the corner. So the Irish now trailing 2 with the ball.
Well, I thought they missed Atkinson. He was open again.
Leschewski's been really quiet, Dan. No field goals, 2 missed free throws. Hub a step back, rimmed off, Usher the rebound.
Well, Leschewski's only taken 1 shot. You got to be a little bit aggressive.
Sturdivant a spot up. 1 and done are the Jackets. Georgia Tech now 1 of their last 10 from the floor. And that got rolled through and out of bounds. Turned over by Notre Dame.
With Dane Goodwin, Notre Dame's leading scorer at over 15 a game, has not scored in the game today.
Right.
He's 0 for 4. Prentice Hub is now 0 for 3.
When you think about it, Hub averages 12 against the league. Goodwin almost 13. Leschewski over 11 against the league, and they're scoreless in a 2-point game. Backdoor cut, DeVoe the catch and layup. Boy, a couple nice first half bounce pass assists from Jordan Usher.
Really good passes from Usher, and you got to be careful if you're a big guy like Leschewski playing Usher out on the perimeter, because he'll drive right by, so he's got enough room to find the player, and he makes the good pass.
Goodwin hit the rim. We get a whistle and a foul. It'll be on Notre Dame, and it's on Atkinson.
Well, Goodwin has tried a couple of times to take the ball inside there, and they've met him at the basket and blocked the shot.
Right. Goodwin challenged more here.
Well, he challenged more there, but I thought Atkinson could have helped play there. That Atkinson simply stood and allowed Coleman to come back and defend him. I think if Atkinson takes a step to the basket, he gives Goodwin someplace to throw the ball.
Yep. Usher, here's Sturdivant. Oh, step back 3 on Ryan. It's a 2. It's a 2 for Kyle Sturdivant. His second field goal. Georgia Tech's put 4 in a row on the board to take a 6-point lead.
Those are a couple of big baskets.
Atkinson the catch. He's 6 for 6 from the floor in the first half. Now has a dozen.
Wes, I'm telling you, they need. He doesn't have to shoot it every time, but they have to try to find him every time.
So here is Sturdivant now.
This is a hard matchup for Leschewski.
Try and switch here. Hub helping. Now Usher spinning on Leschewski, left hand scoop and score.
And that's why it's a hard matchup for Leschewski. He's running out trying to defend the 3, and Usher's just too quick for him.
Don't forget tonight, after Duke and Miami finished nothing but net, Kelsey Riggs, Joel Berry, Carlos Boozer, and Luke Hancock waiting to break down a full day of ACC basketball. Nothing but net, the heart of it all on ACC Network and streaming on the ESPN app. Moore missing a 3. Trey Wirtz playing with the 2 fouls. Will call a quick timeout. Mike Bray will use his use it or lose it 30 here, Dan, with 41.6 to go. Step aside in Midtown Atlanta. 6-point lead for Georgia Tech. And I get the feeling he'll be a central figure the rest of the night.
Well, he's 6 for 6. The rest of the Irish are 6 for 23. And so Notre Dame shooting the ball very poorly. 26. Well, they only scored only fewer points in the first half against Boston College when they got 27.
There's a reach and a foul on Cormac Ryan's hard move to the paint. And it will be on Michael DeVoe, his first, 4th on Georgia Tech, so no free throws. 16-second differential as we wind down this first half in Atlanta. Goodwin, quick move and a skip for Wesley's 3. It's good.
And that's the way Notre Dame wants to play. Goodwin driving the ball in. The defense, even though you only take 1 step toward that guy driving the ball, that's enough room.
24 of the 29 belong to Atkinson and Wesley here in the opening 20. Georgia Tech will hold for the final shot here with Sturdivant. Working on Wesley. Spot up three. Got it. What an answer by Kyle Sturdivant. Ryan and Goodwin won't get off the shot in time, and Georgia Tech will take a 6-point lead in the locker room, Dan. They won 4 of the last 5. Georgia Tech won by a basket here a year ago in Atlanta. They're 8-2 at home against Notre Dame.
Well, if you're Notre Dame, you've held Michael DeVoe to 6 points. Jordan Usher only has 5 points, and you figure, okay, we're pretty good, right? Well, as you said, the bench and the other guys have made great contributions, and only 3 guys have scored for Notre Dame.
Georgia Tech, who's averaging 14 bench points a game, already has 13 here at the half, and a foul on Mecca starts the second half. It's the second on the freshman.
It's not a big surprise. First thing Notre Dame tries to do is go down low to Atkinson.
Right. He starts the second half. Cormac Ryan does not for Mike Bray. Goodwin is scoreless, not anymore. Dane Goodwin starts the second half. The 13th best scorer in the ACC at 15 ones on the board.
And Goodwin is just one of those guys who keeps plugging away, Wes. He's not going to hang his head.
Here's DeVoe trying to answer. Leschewski the rebound.
And for the most part, Notre Dame is not looking to run the ball up the court very quickly.
Dan, given the temperament of these two teams, I mean, first 5 minutes of any half seemingly important, but I don't think so much here tonight with these two. Do you?
No, I don't really think so, Wes. I think that we're going to be back and forth.
Hub misses long.
Well, Hub is now 0 for 5, 0 for 4 from beyond the arc, and it's going to be hard for Notre Dame to win on the road in the ACC unless Hub can make a contribution offensively.
Yep. Here's Mecca handling against Atkinson with 10 to shoot. Now Usher. Atkinson switches off. Usher, a little fall away is good.
Really nice job by Georgia Tech. Just ball movement, screens, gradually drove the Notre Dame defense back to give Jordan Usher a clear lane.
Yep, Usher's got 7 on his 3rd field goal, and Goodwin now has got back-to-back baskets for the Irish.
Well, speaking of clear lanes,
yeah.
Georgia Tech a number of times has really struggled with the screen. Notre Dame drops back into the zone.
Yeah, didn't see much of it, some in the first half.
Notre Dame likes to just throw it in there every now and again. The man-to-man is still their basic defense.
Usher, baseline, the scoop, deflected Atkinson, the recovery, and the rookie leads the charge. Here's Goodwin. Bounce pass, Atkinson, threw it away on the turnover, trying to dial Hub up in the corner. Here's a lead for DeVoe in transition.
That's a really bad decision by Atkinson to try to throw that bounce pass all the way across the court. Take a dribble, get your back to the basket, and score.
Lead is 6 again for the Jackets. Goodwin trying to find a fadeaway spot and left it on the front rim. They go to the deck, and Mecca comes out of there with it. Now Sturdivant. DeVoe clutched from about 30 feet.
Wow, DeVoe's been known to shoot that one.
Well, you saw Charlie Moore stand in the U the other night in Coral Gables, for heaven's sakes. My gosh. And over the top they go inside, and Moore can't finish.
Josh Pastner's really upset because Khalid Moore he made that harder than it had to be.
Tough shot. Wesley gets the roll. 14 for Blake Wesley.
That was some tough play right there. You're talking about a difficult shot. That kid is really talented.
Yes, he is. 6'5" from Riley High School in South Bend. He's been everything the Irish had hoped for, and maybe even a little more here in his rookie campaign. Usher answers for Georgia Tech. He's now got 9.
But Wesley's got to be a little bit careful. He was John with Jamie Lucky there. He thought he got fouled. And so he's setting up on defense, and he's yelling at the official. Can't do that.
Hub. Now here's Atkinson. Mecca playing way off, and Goodwin to work off the screen. Right back for Atkinson, the easy catch and score. 14 for Atkinson. Still perfect from the floor. Four-point game, almost 4 minutes, second half. DeVoe. Here's Sturdivant.
I want to make sure they stay close to DeVoe.
In the corner, Usher tries to find the gap, and it bounced out on the three.
Now Georgia Tech will take that one. That's what they're trying very hard to get Usher that shot.
There's Hub for his first bucket, Dan.
That's a great job by Hub to not just take the ball straight to the basket, but as he's going to the basket, to move into the body of the defender. I think that was Mecca, and shield the ball.
2-point game. Early stages of half two here in Atlanta tonight. Sturdivant. Usher slides through, had it poked away, turned over by Georgia Tech. Goodwin shoots for the lead. The rebound for Wesley, and we're tied. And a timeout is taken by Georgia Tech. We'll take it with them. Locked up at 41. Blake Wesley's now got 16 in his first visit to Atlanta. Dan, it's a 12-6 run by Notre Dame to start this second half. It's tied the game at 41, a lot of it belonging to the rookie from South Bend.
Well, you can see Wes, he's had a pretty good year so far, the third leading scorer among ACC freshmen. But tonight, I mean, he's had an amazing game. He's 50% from the field, 7 for 14. He's 2 out of 3 from beyond the three-point arc. He's got 5 rebounds. He's also got 3 steals, so
yeah,
he's doing about everything you can do. And they've really needed that because Prentice Hub, he just scored his first points a couple of minutes ago.
Right, Dane Goodwin got on the board here in the second half, too. Leschewski still yet to score for Notre Dame, who hasn't led since it was 2-0.
And this zone defense in the second half by Notre Dame has really caused Georgia Tech to stand a little bit.
Yep. Coleman and Maxwell are on the floor for Pastner out of the timeout, by the way, with Sturdivant and Moore and Michael DeVoe here with 5 to shoot. And DeVoe lost a handle on it, turned over again by Georgia Tech. Here's Hub.
That was a great play by Wesley. He's the one that created that. I don't know whether he'll get credit for the turnover or not.
Irish trying to take the lead for the first time since early in the ball game. Kick for Goodwin. He'll shoot for the lead. Back rim missed. DeVoe had it. Bodies fall. No whistle. We play on in Atlanta.
Notre Dame will take that every time. You won't see Goodwin miss too many of those.
And a three-pointer by Debo Coleman short. And that will bring us to another break in the action. So 14-13 to go in the second half. We're tied up at 41 with the Irish and Jackets on ACC Network. Well, don't forget, following our coverage here from Atlanta, off to Cameron we'll send you. Miami, #2 Duke. Still to come, that's game 3 of our triple header tonight on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. 4 games already in the books, Dan. 3 of them 5 or less on a big Saturday of ACC basketball. Here's an up-to-date look at the top half of the standings.
Wes, it's going to be a very interesting year in the Atlantic Coast Conference. You're talking about all the close games. Well, we've had close games for the most part all year long, not just today. And this game certainly gives every appearance it's going to go down to the wire.
29 conference games have been played. 16 of them are 5 or less. A remarkable stat relatively early in league play. Turned over by Notre Dame, still tied at 41 out of the break, and Coleman about gave it away, and Leschewski rolls to the deck. Somebody's got to stop the melee, and Jamie Lucky does, with alternating possession that will go to Georgia Tech.
That's after the Notre Dame turnover. Coleman he gets in too deeply there. You just can't do that. When you start drawing a lot of guys in transition, you stop and you find an open guy behind you. And Notre Dame, they got exactly what they wanted, but Atkinson made a very, very poor pass out to Leschewski. If he throws that one to Leschewski where Leschewski can just catch it and shoot it, then I think that might be a 3-point opportunity for Notre Dame, but he threw it at his toes. I think, that Georgia Tech has gotten great contributions from guys other than DeVoe and Usher, but I think DeVoe and Usher have to try to be very assertive here.
Here's Maxwell in traffic, and it rolled off the iron. Look at Wesley, Goodwin, and Notre Dame leads. Dane Goodwin's got all 6 in the second half.
And that's just the speed of Wesley. And Jordan Usher, Josh Pastner's trying to give him a rest, but you can't leave him on the bench.
Irish in front. Jackets 3.5 minutes without a point.
And this is a problem that has plagued the Yellow Jackets all year long.
Coleman tries to end it, cannot. Goodwin the rebound. Here's Hub, winding through traffic. That got deflected in the air. Wesley and DeVoe battle for it. The freshman away with it. And Ryan with 15 to shoot. Cormac Ryan got the start tonight. A couple of baskets early, but otherwise relatively quiet for Coach Brent. Hub, a standing three. Yes, sir.
Hub has the ability to make those huge shots. And that's a potential backbreaker right there. Even though we've got lots of time left in the game, Georgia Tech really struggling to score.
11-0 in the run for the Irish, and another Georgia Tech turnover. Hub got bumped and then turned it over to DeVoe, who saved it to Moore. It's a little loose at both ends, Dan. Here's DeVoe. Can he answer? He does. 11 for DeVoe on his 5th field goal.
And again, Wes, I think that's very important for Georgia Tech. DeVoe and Usher both have to become more assertive.
Yep. Here's Atkinson. Dumps it on the block. Goodwin with Maxwell defending. And Dane Goodwin.
Goodwin a little fall away. I think he had the opportunity to go to the goal, but instead he chose to fall away.
2-point game and a hand check foul on Wesley. That'll get us to a timeout, but the Irish on a run here. Notre Dame in front, 46-44. A lot of it Dane Goodwin, Dan. Two-point lead for Notre Dame. Second half action from McCamish Pavilion. Dane Goodwin's been a big part of an electric second half shooting-wise for Notre Dame, Dan.
Well, he's got 3 field goals in the second half. One of the problems for the Irish, though, is they're glad to get Goodwin going, but he's still only 3 for 12.
Yeah.
Atkinson, his buddy sitting right next to him, is exactly the opposite. He's 7 for 7. And Notre Dame has not been forced out of this zone defense, although they line up into man-to-man coming out of this timeout.
Start of it. Handles it for Georgia Tech with Moore, Coleman, DeVoe, and Usher. Out there for Josh Pastner. 8 to shoot. Here's Sturdivant against Hub. Working through, a little fall away. Missed everything. DeVoe, and that'll be a shot clock violation. Jamie Lucky with the whistle from out here on the perimeter, and Josh Pastner resets the face shield that has kind of become one of his trademarks.
If you're Notre Dame and the shot clock's running down, you'd rather have the ball in the hands of Kyle Sturdivant than Michael DeVoe.
Yep.
So it's really good defense by Notre Dame right there.
Leschewski still scoreless tonight, man. After 20 the other night against Carolina. Trey Wirtz tees up a 3. Usher the rebound.
Wirtz is one of their poorer 3-point shooters.
Yep. Scoreless tonight. There's a 3 from DeVoe. Standing in the downtown connector.
Yeah, but it's sitting where we were, Wes. I thought that one was down.
Yeah.
And, you know, DeVoe is a guy, you can defend him extremely well, and he can still make a shot.
Yep. Winner of the Case Award last year in Greensboro when the Jackets beat Florida State for the ACC championship. Notre Dame still protecting this 2-point lead. Wesley will slash. Now leave it for Hub. Davon Smith checked in. Hub drives by him and scores. 7 for Hub on his 3rd field goal. All of it in the second half.
Hub he's become very aggressive with that drive to the goal.
Yep.
Notre Dame now drops back into the zone again.
Usher working on Wirtz. And tapped around. Leschewski finally is able to corral it.
That's a tough break for Georgia Tech. I
Good
don't
shot,
know how that
right?
ball didn't go into the basket.
Yeah, there have been 2 or 3 trips for the Jackets that have resulted in bounce outs.
Now they got to tighten up on the defensive end. They forced some turnovers in the first half early. They'd like to be able to do that again.
Here's Hub off the moving screen. Leschewski called for it. Jeff Bond the whistle and the foul on the senior. It's his second on Notre Dame.
Well, you talked about Leshevsky and how he really hasn't scored today, and the problem is he sets that screen and he's thinking more about how he's going to drift out for the three-point shot. You got to get stationary on that screen.
Usher. Smith back for Coleman. Trying to find the open alley here. Smith will fire the two, missed everything. Moore cleans it up. 5 for Khalid Moore.
Even if you're in a man-to-man defense, it's hard to block out against an air ball. That's just really sometimes you do everything right and your opponent still gets that air ball rebound.
Mike Bray gets Atkinson and Goodwin off his bench. Here's Wesley. What a tough shot, and he almost got it to bounce in. Tied it. And a look ahead for Usher got knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Georgia Tech. Here comes Sturdivant back for Georgia Tech. Atkinson and Goodwin in for the Irish, Dan.
Well, Wesley tried to do a little too much that time. That was really good defense by Davon Smith, who forced Wesley to the baseline. Georgia Tech missed an opportunity there in transition.
Sturdivant back for Coleman's long three. And Wesley pulls it down.
Wes, I'm okay with Michael DeVoe shooting it from out there. I don't know that I'm okay with Debo Coleman.
Yeah. Coleman hit a first half three, his 17th of the year. But not many opportunities to fire away. Had 31 attempts coming into the ball game tonight. 8 to shoot quickly on this clock. Here goes Wesley down the lane and one.
Ho, ho, ho. I did not think that he had any room in here at all. Talk about creating some space for yourself with the drive. He protects the ball from Usher, and then he protects his body from Coleman coming over. That's really something, Wes. You can't teach that in practice.
No. This is the guy who hit the game winner against Kentucky. And here tonight, he's turning it up in Atlanta. He's got 19 now. 7 in the second half. Usher trying to answer the conventional three-point trip and does with one off the window.
Well, that's not exactly a conventional three, but he'll take them. That was a big basket. You could feel Notre Dame sort of grabbing control of the game.
Yep. Cuts it back to a 2-point Irish lead. Cormac Ryan. He'll take it on the drive and score with DeVoe trailing. Irish have found that seam now, Dan.
Yeah, they have. And Notre Dame, you don't expect them to be driving the ball all the way to the basket. When they drive, their tendency is to kick it out for the three.
Usher, fall away two, rolls in.
And Jordan Usher is a guy who can make tough shots.
Yep. Got 9 in the second half, 14 in the ball game. The Notre Dame lead trimmed back to 2 again.
Now Georgia Tech drops into his zone.
Irish try to answer. Wesley missed the 3. Usher's got a double-double now with 14 and 10 rebounds.
Notre Dame back to the man-to-man.
Yep. DeVoe winds his way inside, kicks out for Moore. Airball the 3. And now Mike Bray's going to bring his team front court and call a timeout. And that's what will happen. 2-point advantage. Riding the rookie, Blake Wesley, who's got an ACC season high tonight. Danny had 18 against Carolina. He's got 19 tonight.
Well, he has really played well, Wes, and I think his ability to attack the basket, he hasn't been perfect. He's made some mistakes, but I think his energy and the fact that he plays so aggressively has really been a big key for Notre Dame.
Don't forget, women's basketball takes center stage tomorrow on ACC Network. Doubleheader for you. But we will also feature the number 5 team in the country. NC State at Miami is presented for you by Food Lion at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. Well, Notre Dame comes in winners of 4 straight, 5 of their last 6. just 1-1 on the ACC road. And Dan, they seem to be going down a bad path after an early loss in December at Boston College to start conference play. Prentice Hub hit that game winner at Pittsburgh, and it rejuvenated Bray's team, I thought.
Well, and the game against Kentucky was a big help in that respect. They played Kentucky right after they played Boston College and got that big win. This is a team, Wes, when they can make some shots, they can play with just about anybody, particularly if Atkinson is going to play that well on the inside. Their problem against Boston College was that they just simply didn't make shots. Well,
and here's Prentice Hub, proving to be the winner at the Peterson Event Center against the Panthers of Pittsburgh. That kind of got him on track in the ACC. Here's the rookie, though, taking the teeth right out of the Wildcats.
Well, Prentice Hub is a guy, you can talk all you want about how he may be shooting the ball poorly, but Hub is a guy who traditionally makes big shots. And obviously Wesley is another guy who can make big shots, and that's a huge advantage for any team to have.
So Prentice Hub, 7 points, all in the second half. Dane Goodwin, 6 points, all in the second half. Hub's also got a half dozen assists to go with his night. And Blake Wesley has got 19. Most he's scored in the game since he had 24 at Illinois. Young man from South Bend is probably one of those that kind of snuck in on that list of freshmen in the ACC this year. We're busy talking about guys all around the league, and
well, with COVID, he didn't play any AAU ball, and
right,
you know, people weren't able to see him play. And the Notre Dame coaches, they saw him in practice and, ooh, boy.
Yep. Well, he was only 3 miles from campus. You had to find him. COVID be damned, right? Young man from Riley High School in South Bend, first public school signee from South Bend for Notre Dame since the mid-1980s, Dan.
That's not so long ago.
Oh, that's right. I forgot who I was talking to. I'll tell you what, he's been phenomenal, though, hasn't he? And they expected him to make an immediate impact, and he has. And here tonight in Atlanta, trying to help his team to its 3rd ACC win and 9th overall.
Now, Wesley's got such great size.
Atkinson, and we're going to get a foul. Jeffrey Clark, I think.
He's got Khalid Moore,
yeah.
Well, Moore's doing everything he can. Atkinson with a couple of inches and a few pounds.
Spot throw in by Hub. There's Usher now drawing the card on Wesley. Hub for Atkinson with Usher defending. Ryan to Goodwin, 3 to shoot. Goodwin in the middle of the lane. Rolled off for Jordan Usher.
Well, Goodwin's been short a lot tonight, Wes. That's a shot. When he gets it in there, he normally is money on that. Good defense by DeVoe.
Usher in traffic. Dumped it and one. Coming for Khalid Moore.
That's really a nice play by Khalid Moore to just go to the open area. Jordan Usher draws all kinds of attention, and Moore just sets himself up in the area that the defense vacated.
Prentice Hub draws the foul, Dan. His first. 3rd on the Irish in the half. More to the line to try and put Georgia Tech in front.
That may be Usher's best assist tonight, the assist while you're falling down.
Found out something interesting before the ball game. Andy Demetra, who does Georgia Tech on radio, told me Jordan Usher and Paul Atkinson visited Yale on official visits at the same time.
So Atkinson ended up at Yale and Usher ended up at Southern Cal.
And then here they are tonight in the ACC. What says 21st century college basketball more, right? Goodwin tried to put the Irish back in front and couldn't. Got a great look for Bray out of the offense.
And Wes, I think that's the key. It's out of the offense. It wasn't forced. Dane Goodwin with an off shooting night.
Start event with 5.5 to play.
And Notre Dame's been playing mostly from ahead in the second half, Wes. Let's see how they play from behind, particularly if Georgia Tech can get one here.
Usher the scoop and score with the left hand.
We talked about DeVoe and Usher becoming more assertive in the second half, and they certainly have.
16 for Usher. 6 straight double figures for him. He's really been impactful for Pastner. His team up 3. Wesley. Leschewski slipped the screen, and a whistle and foul called. Is it on Maxwell?
It is on Maxwell. You can see that one coming.
First on Tristan, the fourth on Georgia Tech.
Up at the top of your screen, Maxwell just moves right into Dane Goodwin and is hanging on to him. Goodwin actually did a nice job keeping his arms up in the air. If he'd have brought his elbows down, he might have been called for a foul.
Leschewski is scoreless. Goodwin rolling on Maxwell, back to the left hand and scores.
Goodwin is so good in there with his back to the basket.
Kind of old school, right?
Yep, absolutely. The problem Goodwin's had tonight is he hasn't been able to make a three.
Yeah. 1 point game, 4.5 to go. Sturdivant. Eight to shoot. It's in Maxwell's hands. Big shot. Rimmed out. Leschewski the rebound. Boy, Tristan Maxwell playing tonight in just his second game.
Well, he certainly isn't afraid.
No. Like 4 minutes against Georgia State.
Atkinson is matched up against Sturdivant down on the inside. Sturdivant doing a great job pushing him out.
Notre Dame for the lead. Back rim miss on the three by Wesley. Moore clears it away.
Well, I think Notre Dame missed an opportunity there. They had Atkinson with a mismatch on the inside, and they never were able to find him.
Usher with Leschewski defending. Been quite a second half, and once again the Irish and Jackets look like they want to take it to the wire, and there's a foul on Leschewski that will get us to the timeout. 1 point game, but what's new when these two get together? 7 of their last 11 determined by 4 or less. Sit tight. Exciting moments from Atlanta still to come.
Early in the second half, that Notre Dame zone got Georgia Tech to stand around a little bit, but the Yellow Jackets have gotten back into the game and taken the lead by being very aggressive. And the guys who have been aggressive are basically DeVoe and Usher. Usher, DeVoe, and Khalid Moore are the only 3 Georgia Tech players to score in the second half.
Well, I'm about to say there's about 5 central figures in this game that are probably going to determine it.
Yeah.
3 for each school, right? Atkinson, Wesley, maybe Dane Goodwin, maybe Prentice Hub. 4 for Notre Dame, perhaps. It's a 1 point lead for Josh Pastner's team, trying to get an ACC win, avoid an 0-4 start. Here's
a
Usher.
hard matchup for Ryan.
And turned over.
And what a good decision by Dane Goodwin to not try to run the ball down the court. Georgia Tech was back.
Here's Hub. Now Atkinson, who has been relatively quiet in this second half. There's the bounce pass. Coleman fought him for it. Last touch by the freshman Debo Coleman. It will stay with the Irish with 12 to shoot.
Atkinson did not do a good job getting position. You have to be able to force Coleman down closer to the basket. But look at Coleman use that hip to push him out, and then he slaps the ball away.
Here's Hub. 6 to shoot. Now Wesley with 5 to shoot.
He wants a screen.
Atkinson trying to help. Blake Wesley at 15 feet, left it on the front rim. Atkinson cleans it up, and Notre Dame back in front. 16 on 8 for 8 floor shooting for Paul Atkinson.
That's really a nice job by Wesley to get the ball up, because Atkinson was all alone under the basket and he just grazed the rim, but that was enough.
Ryan tried to save the turnover, but Georgia Tech recovers.
Yeah, but Ryan threw the ball in the right direction.
They got a reset of the clock.
They did, and since it was recovered in the backcourt, it resets to 30 rather than 20.
Here's DeVoe. Sliding hanger off the glass and one. The foul on Ryan. Big shot, Michael DeVoe.
And that all starts because Dane Goodwin goes for the fake. That's DeVoe, every time he catches the ball, he gives that little fake, and it's really hard if you're a defender. You know what a great three-point shooter he is, and Cormac Ryan trying to come over to help, and it's just too late.
73% free throw shooter, first trip of the night for the senior from Orlando. Knocks it down.
And again, Wes, in this second half, Notre Dame has spent most of the time playing from ahead. Let's see how they play from behind.
2 minutes to go. Wesley.
Atkinson has not gotten the open opportunities in this half that he did in the first half.
Yep. They'll try and help Ryan with a screen. 12 to shoot. Good one. Takes Coleman. Baseline goes Wesley. Had it banged out of there. Here comes Georgia Tech now. Sturdivant takes it all the way down. And a foul will be called on Notre Dame, and it's on Cormac Ryan.
It's going to be called a 2-shot foul, I think.
Sure is. 3rd on Ryan, 6th on Notre Dame.
Well, Wesley drives to the basket, and Mike Gray wanted a foul right there, and Cormac Ryan trying to get in position. And right there, right at the end, Wes, Ryan drops his arm down. I think that's either a charge or a no call. But Ryan drops that arm down, and that's what the official sees, and that's an automatic.
Don't forget, coming up tonight, following Duke and Miami, another edition of Nothing But Net tonight. Kelsey Riggs will be by with Carlos Boozer, Luke Hancock, Joel Berry. They'll recap the day in the ACC on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. 9 for Sturdivant, make it 10 as he knocks them both down. His 3rd double-figure game in the last 8 for Georgia Tech, and it's a 4-point game with 101 seconds to play.
Boy, what a swing for Georgia Tech. They were down 5, but again, they just increased that aggressiveness, and the ball started going in the basket again for them.
Here's Goodwin. Hanging jumper at the foul line for Dane Goodwin. He's got double figures, 10 all in the second half.
And Notre Dame is a team that's not noted for its defensive prowess, but they got to dig in here.
Irish going to play man, Dan.
Usher's a hard matchup for Atkinson if he can get the ball outside.
Look at that, knocked away. Sturdivant runs it down with 13 to shoot. Hub with Sturdivant. Works his way down, pull-up jumper. Atkinson the rebound.
A little too much Sturdivant on that possession. I think down here at the end, DeVoe and Usher at least have to handle the ball.
2-point game, under a minute to go. Hub behind the back now. Wesley for the lead. Yes!
What a big shot!
Blake Wesley's 3rd 3 of the night. He's got 22 and a Georgia Tech timeout with 46.9 to go.
And no bigger shot than that one. Prentice Hub does a great job getting in there and drawing the defense. Jordan Usher's trying to help out. He tried to get himself down in the lane for the drive, and he's not able to recover back. That is some pass by Hub, and what a confident shot by Wesley.
Wesley had 24 at Champaign in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Dan, he had 21 in his first collegiate game. So he's got 20 or more for the 3rd time in his career. And the young freshman from South Bend just gave the Irish the lead. 0.9 to go. Notre Dame had been 1 for 8 in the second half from behind the line prior to the make there. And remember now, this is a team that in 3 of their last 4 games had hit 10 or more threes, and Dan had been averaging 11 made threes in their last 4.
Well, and in ACC play, they've been getting almost 50% of their offense from behind the 3-point arc. So the fact that they can have a 1-point lead late in the game with as poorly as they have shot the 3 today is a surprising statistic.
5-0 run has carried Bray's team to a 1-point edge. Wednesday night, they host Clemson in South Bend. Next Saturday, they're in Blacksburg. Josh Pastner trying to avoid an 0-4 start, going to Boston College on Wednesday night. Carolina next Saturday in Chapel Hill for a 2nd time.
Notre Dame with 6 team fouls, Georgia Tech with 4. So the Jackets have a couple to give here if that becomes a factor.
Coleman will put it in play. Boy, big stage for the young freshman Coleman here, Dan. Usher, here's DeVoe against Wesley. Into traffic, gonna scoop with the left hand. Leschewski finally corrals the rebound, tried to save it to Goodwin. Coleman off the turnover and a foul. 28.6 left. Looked like Leshevsky just tried too early to get rid of it.
This is some defensive play by Blake Wesley right there. He forces a very difficult shot. And then this is a situation where Leshevsky feels himself falling out of bounds. Well, if that happens, you just go out of bounds. You don't want to throw the ball back in under the basket unless you're 100% sure you're throwing it to your guy, and he couldn't even see that.
Notre Dame will take the timeout. So the turnover by Leshevsky. And now Georgia Tech will have it down 1, 20 to shoot, and you see 28-6 left to go. We cannot be surprised this is going to the wire.
No.
Not with these two.
But Georgia Tech's going to the line, are they not?
Yep. Free throws on the 7th foul.
Yeah, right. I thought it was a shooting foul.
So Coleman should be going to the free throw line here. We'll see. Yeah, foul was on Cormac Ryan, so free throws will be awarded. It's the 4th on Ryan. Should be 1-and-1 for Debo Coleman, right?
I think they ruled a shooting foul.
Oh, shooting foul, so two shots.
Foul.
2 shots for Coleman, who is now, after making 2 in the first half, Dan, 11 of 13 at the line this year.
Yeah, you don't mind him being at the line, although this is a pressure-packed situation for a freshman.
Well, and this is a guy who was Mr. Basketball in the state of Florida last year at West Nassau down in Callahan, Florida, originally from Memphis, and chose Georgia Tech over Texas Tech and Ole Miss. Highly thought of prospect. Again, another one of those young guys, because of the pandemic and the lack of the AAU tours and things like that, that maybe under the radar somewhat when he signed here in Atlanta. So he's got 2 shots and a chance to put his team in front.
Got himself in a big spot here.
Yep. 5 tonight, all in the first half. First one good.
Now, if you're Notre Dame, the key thing here is if he misses, you have to rebound the ball. So you've got to block out, and you've got to do it without fouling. If you're Georgia Tech, if you miss, you don't want to go over anybody's back. And
front rim miss. Atkinson the rebound.
right now, Notre Dame can hold it for the last shot, Wes.
Irish have 1 timeout, as do the Jackets.
And they're not going to call the timeout.
Mr. Big Shot at the timeline.
Absolutely.
Prentice Hub. He's going to let this wind all the way down. Here's Atkinson to help with the screen. Hub for the lead. Back rim miss. Atkinson put it back up, lost it, had it blocked. We get overtime in Atlanta. So we get overtime in Atlanta at 62. The second conference game to go to overtime today.
Really nice job by Moore. He's got a little bit of size against Hub and hits the back rim. And then Moore steps in after the nice defensive play against Hub. He steps in and knocks the ball away from Atkinson. That's a really nice play. Let's play 5 more minutes, Wes.
Sit tight. We'll come back. Overtime in Atlanta is next. Well, overtime in Atlanta, tied at 62, and the extra session presented by SoFi. And another one between the Jackets and Irish going to the wire tonight, including a little free basketball.
And a couple of things to keep in mind. Georgia Tech is in the 1-and-1. Notre Dame is not, because the Yellow Jackets only have 14 fouls here in the second half.
Sturdivant a kick into the corner, and Coleman tees up a 3. And the rebound for the freshman Wesley, who's 2 off his career high tonight. Leshevsky has played this game. Dan scores. Hub skips it in the corner. Goodwin for the lead. Nope. Rebounded by Debo Coleman.
Goodwin is now 0 for 5 from out there, Wes, and I don't think he's forced a 3. He's had open looks, the kind that he normally makes. Leshevsky hasn't scored because he's only taken 1 shot.
DeVoe, Moore, baseline against Atkinson. Nice help by Leshevsky, Dan. Usher spinning and missed everything. Minute gone in overtime. We're still at 62.
Let's see if Wesley takes the ball and attacks the basket.
Here's Goodwin sliding through. Nice bounce pass. Atkinson couldn't get there. That's on Dane Goodwin.
It is, because there's no such thing as a nice pass if your guy can't catch it. And Atkinson should have gone where Goodwin thought he was going to go, but he did not.
12th turnover on the Irish. Start of it. Waiting on DeVoe to come off the Moore screen. He'll reroute off of it. DeVoe with Atkinson defending. Little baby jumper in the lane for Michael DeVoe.
And again, Wes, DeVoe can make tough shots.
Yeah.
And that was not an easy shot. Atkinson was actually in pretty good defensive position.
Here's Goodwin all the way to the basket. Easy basket for Goodwin, who's now got a dozen.
When you play Notre Dame to pass the ball, a guy like Goodwin can get it all the way to the basket. He doesn't do it with the kind of speed and aggressiveness that Wesley gets there, but Goodwin can get it all the way to the goal.
Yep. So 2 minutes gone in the overtime. DeVoe. 8 to shoot, turned over on a pass toward Usher.
It's great defensive help by Prentice Hub.
And here is Hub. Now to Goodwin.
Want to keep the ball movement.
Leschewski. Now Wesley fires through the lane, skips to Hub. 3 ball is good. Prentice Hub now with 10 in the ball game, all in the second half and overtime, and Notre Dame a 3-point lead. And a timeout for the Irish. Great kick by Wesley, and the bottom of the bucket for Hub. Well, Notre Dame on a 5-0 run, keyed by Dane Goodwin and Prentice Hub, and it's part of our net gains presented for you by SoFi, because there is the star of the night for the Irish. It's the freshman Blake Wesley.
And he's the one who just made that pass, Wes. He's got 3 assists in the game now. But it's interesting talking about Hub and Goodwin, because they have scored 22 points between them, all of them coming in the second half. And Wesley, he has been a constant throughout the game. He's made a couple of big shots himself, but he made a big pass right there.
Yep. Well, no surprise here that 2 veteran pieces, Goodwin and Hub, have been kind of sparking the Irish late and in overtime, Dan.
And it's very interesting because it has been a difficult night for both of them shooting the ball. Goodwin only 6 for 18, 0 for 5 from 3.
Yep.
Hub 4 for 10. But because they're veterans, they find ways to help their team even when they're not scoring.
As soon as we're done here in Atlanta, we'll send you to Durham. Duke and Miami getting ready to start with Jay Alter and Malcolm Huckabee. They'll join you just as soon as we're finished here in Atlanta. Usher on the drive against Atkinson, deflected away, and Leschewski finally comes down with it.
It's really a nice job by Atkinson to move his feet and not foul.
Yep. And here is Wesley. Hub thought about it. Now Leschewski. How about you? Nate Leschewski, his first basket of the ball game with 1:47 to go in overtime.
It's only his second field goal attempt.
6-point lead. Jackets can't afford to wait around. Usher trying to answer quickly. Goodwin to rebound.
And keep in mind, Georgia Tech, if you want to play the foul game, they got a couple of fouls they still have to give before they can get there.
That's a good point.
Although it's a little too early for that. But you need to be aggressive on defense.
Here is Goodwin. Now Atkinson with 8 to shoot. Winding down on DeVoe. First miss of the night from the floor for Paul Atkinson. 6-point game, minute to go in overtime.
Well, you figure you got that mismatch down inside against DeVoe. You'd really like to have that one. Nice job by DeVoe to not let him get him too close.
Here is DeVoe, and a foul called that will get DeVoe to the line on Dane Goodwin. It's his first. It's the 8th on Notre Dame.
Goodwin does a very nice job actually moving his feet. He loses his balance here at the end, and he just puts his body into him. Goodwin thinks it's a traveling violation, but the break for Notre Dame right there is DeVoe's not able to get the ball up on the board.
Yep. DeVoe knocks down the free throw. He now got 17 in the ball game. Senior from Orlando. Averaged 22 in the last two coming in. And the second one good.
And Cormac Ryan comes in the game. Mike Bray making that substitution for ball handling, but also to stop the game. Georgia Tech likes to take a timeout.
Yep, 4-point lead for Notre Dame. Under a minute now to go. Josh Pastner trying to avoid this 0-4 start. Jackets started 0-5 in 2013. They finished 6-12 in the league that year. He said to us today, hey, look, everybody's close right now. And the stats and the standings reflect that. Duke, who you're getting ready to see against Miami. I know Miami and Louisville both playing tonight undefeated in conference play, but it's been a battle royal the rest of the way, hasn't it?
And it's those two teams, Louisville and Miami, haven't exactly beaten everybody by 50 points, Wes. They've played very close games. It's been extremely competitive. And for Georgia Tech, you know, they have had such problems with the 5 position, the center. You know, Howard got hurt, and then today they just weren't able to get anything from Mecca and Gigi Berea.
Yep. So
they've had to play a small lineup, and Notre Dame was able to take advantage of that, particularly in the first half with Atkinson scoring at will inside.
Hub puts it in play. Here's Goodwin. Remember, Dan told you about the foul situation with Georgia Tech. Even if you foul here, you're still not sending anybody to the line with a chance to change possession.
Well, you got to be very aggressive here.
Right. And Notre Dame, they're content to burn it down here. And Georgia Tech likes to play defense. Now, if you're going to do this, you got to get a stop. Yep. Here is Wesley. 2 to shoot, 3 at the front. Back rim miss. Goodwin slapped it out. Wesley the rebound. And there is foul number 5 on the Jackets, and it's Debo Coleman's second. We were
just talking about veteran guys being able to help their teams, even though they're not having their best offensive game. And you just saw Dane Goodwin do that. He did nothing more than get his hand on the ball and slap it out to allow his teammate to recover it. That is a great play.
Georgia Tech thought they were going to the free throw line. Guys lined up on either side of the lane, and then Josh Pastner said, no, we got to get a foul, and there's Sturdivant reaching in.
They need one more.
Yep. 17.7 to play. Shot clock's off here, too, by the way.
And interestingly enough, the guy you want to foul is Prentice Hub.
Yep. And here's the pass. Hub is bumped and fouled by Sturdivant. And Hub, who is 62% at the line, will go to the stripe for the first time tonight. And a 1-and-1 opportunity with a 4-point lead. Well, there's good news and bad news in this. One, Hub, not a great free throw shooter, but it's still a 2-possession game regardless if he hits 1 or 2 for Pastner's team. And he missed the front end. Georgia Tech with 11 seconds left. DeVoe will go get the 2 on the layup. 6 in overtime for Michael DeVoe, 20 in the ball game. His 8th game of the year of 20 or more, Dan.
That's a great job to get the ball down the court. You know that Notre Dame doesn't want to commit a foul, and they also don't want to give DeVoe a 3, so you're right on him. He drives the ball to the basket. Now, with 10 seconds left in the game, Notre Dame, they inbound the ball. Georgia Tech has plenty of time. You get a foul right away.
Yep.
And then it's still a 1-and-1 because it would only be the 8th team foul against Georgia Tech. And if you can, you foul Prentice Hub again. And Notre Dame, that's the guy they get the ball to.
I thought it was interesting when we showed the layup by DeVoe, Goodwin flipped the ball to Hub, who was going to put it in play. So let's see what happens here with the inbounds offense of Mike Bray.
Well, Goodwin is a 93% free throw shooter. Ryan is 83%.
And it's Hub putting it in play.
But the first thing you got to do is get it in.
And he does to Goodwin.
That's who you want to have the ball, and there's, you know, that was 10 seconds, so he could afford to stand there and hold it.
Sure could. Kyle Sturdivant, his 3rd foul, all of them here in overtime, and now Dane Goodwin First trip to the 9 tonight, 27-29 this year.
Right, he's 27-29. It is his first trip to the line, and it's a 1-and-1.
Yep.
So, big free throws. But this is the guy you want at the line.
Yep. And up and in.
He and Michael DeVoe are talking to one another.
Yeah.
You think Goodwin asked DeVoe if he knew who he was talking to?
Second one, good. 4-point game. Here is DeVoe with 5 seconds. He'll take the deep three off the rim. Leschewski the rebound, and another tight one between the Jackets and Irish. This time Notre Dame comes away with the victory, Dan.
Great ball game. Well, it's really fun.
72-68 in the win.